Hey, welcome back to the module. We're going to explore present perfect in Spanish language. Again, getting familiar with Spanish verb conjugation at full extent is super important in order for you to improve your Spanish skill. You don't need to really memorize everything, but just be familiar with so you can identify them. Those who crush verbs conquer Spanish. This is a quote that I encountered when I started learning Spanish, although it was said in Japanese. So let's dive right into present perfect. The present perfect tense is defined as a verb with a combination of present tense and past participle that expresses a past event that has present consequences. The other definition will be a verb form that expresses an action in a point of past in which the action has not completed at the time. So examples in English will be I have eaten, you have spoken, he has ridden, we have touched, they have gone. So just like in English, present perfect tense in Spanish will use auxiliary verb haber equal to have in English. So here again, we take a look at comer as an example, which means to eat in English. Present perfect tense is the combination of present tense of haber and past participle of the verb we want to talk about. In this case, comer. So past participle of comer is comido. So that infinitive form of present perfect tense for the verb comer will be haber comido. So now we need to review how to conjugate present tense for the verb haber. Haber is one of irregular conjugating verbs. However, when you look at just the present tense, the irregularity is mostly in root part of the verb. The ending parts are almost same as a regular conjugating verb, except an for er verb. So all person, singular or plural, except second person plural, vosotros, the root part of the verb ab become just h. So it goes yo he, tú has, él ha, nosotros hemos, vosotros habéis, ellos han. So now let's take a look at how this haber conjugation present tense can be applied to the verb comer so we can create the verb comer present perfect tense. Again, present perfect tense for the verb comer, to eat, is going to be haber and comido, which is past participle of the verb comer. So it's going to be he comido, yo. Has comido, tú. Ha comido, él. Hemos comido, nosotros. Habéis comido, vosotros. Han comido, ustedes. Let's take a look at again in different chart. So here you can clearly see present tense conjugation of haber and past participle of comer and how it becomes present perfect tense for the verb comer. Yo he comido. Tú has comido. Él ha comido. Ella ha comido. Usted ha comido. Nosotros hemos comido. Vosotros habéis comido. Ellos han comido. Ellas han comido. Ustedes han comido. In Spanish, most of the time, the subject is omitted because conjugated verb itself will suggest who the subject is, especially when you have a contextual understanding. For example, in English, you cannot say have eaten because you wouldn't know who have eaten. If I have eaten, or if you have eaten, or if we have eaten, or if they have eaten. However, in Spanish, you could say he comido because this form can only take yo as its subject. When I say he comido, it means I have eaten, even if I didn't say yo. So when they say yo he comido, oftentimes it's an emphasis on yo. The only time you really need to tell who the subject is, the only time you are required to clearly mention the subject is third person singular and third person plural, especially when the context doesn't clarify it, because ha comido could take él, ella, usted as a subject. In other words, he, she, you, or it. The same goes to han comido because it can take ellos, ellas, or ustedes. In other words, they, you all, these, or those. And this is also the reason why we want to get familiar with the verb conjugation fully as soon as we can. Because otherwise you will not even able to identify the verb and subject, which are the core of the sentence that Spanish speaking people are trying to convey to you. But if we do, then our learning curve will exponentially speed it up. Let's take a look at some of the examples we've been looking at so you put this present perfect tense into the context. As we looked at in previous modules, comer is one of 3 regular verb conjugation type. It means to eat. Yo he comido, I have eaten. For example, yo he comido arroz, I have eaten rice. Again, in order to conjugate to present perfect tense, we need to add auxiliary verb haber and use the past participle form of comer, comido, haber comido. The first person singular will be he comido, so it's he ido. And whenever you identify he ido, most likely it's the first person singular form of present perfect tense for either ER or IR verb. Tú has comido, you have eaten. For example, has comido pescado, you have eaten fish. The second person singular form of present perfect, haber comido, will be has comido. So it's has ido. And whenever you recognize this has ido, most likely it is a present perfect of either ER or IR verb. Él Ella, usted ha comido. He, she, or you have eaten. For example, ha comido ella nada. She hasn't eaten anything. The third person singular form of haber comido is ha comido. So it's ha ido. Whenever you recognize this ha ido, it's most likely present perfect tense for either er verb or ir verb. Nosotros hemos comido. We have eaten. For example, hemos comido pan. We have eaten bread. First person plural form for present perfect tense for haber comido is hemos comido. So it's hemos ido. And whenever you recognize this hemos ido, most likely it's present perfect tense for either er or ir verb. Vosotros habéis comido. You guys have eaten. For example, habéis comido saludable. You guys have eaten healthy. Second person plural form of present perfect tense for haber comido is habéis comido. So it's habéis ido. Whenever you recognize this habéis ido, it's most likely present perfect form of either er verb or ir verb. Ellos, ellas, ustedes han comido. They, you all have eaten. For example, ellos han comido mucho. They have eaten a lot. The third person plural for haber comido, present perfect tense, is han comido. So it's han ido. And whenever recognize han ido, it is most likely present perfect tense for either er verb or ir verb. Let's review. Yo he ido. Yo he comido. Tú has ido. Tú has comido. Usted ha ido. Usted ha comido. Nosotros hemos ido. Nosotros hemos comido. Vosotros habéis ido. Vosotros habéis comido. Ustedes han ido. Ustedes han comido. Let's take a look at from another angle, and also let's review how this can be applied to, for example, ir verb. He comido yo. Has comido tú. Ha comido usted. Ha comido él. Ha comido ella. Hemos comido nosotros. Habéis comido vosotros. Han comido ustedes. Han comido ellos. Han comido ellas. Now, what we've learned today about present perfect tense for comer can be applied to IR verbs such as vivir. Let's take a look at it. He vivido yo. Has vivido tú. Ha vivido usted. Ha vivido él. Ha vivido ella. Hemos vivido nosotros. Habéis vivido vosotros. Han vivido ustedes. Han vivido ellos. Han vivido ellas. So the conjugating pattern for ER verb and IR verb for present perfect tense is exactly the same. So what about AR verb? We're going to take a look at AR verb in another module, but let's take a look at it quickly. So for AR verb, the only difference will be the past participle. It's going to be ado instead of ido. He hablado yo. Has hablado tú. Ha hablado usted. Ha hablado él. Ha hablado ella. Hemos hablado nosotros. Habéis hablado vosotros. Han hablado ustedes. Han hablado ellos. Han hablado ellas.